Starting a stream here. We're going to go over PolkaDot first, but if you have any questions, just go ahead and type it in the chat. Yeah, this is looking very bullish. Hey, Lit Dog. No, it's not rolling out today, but there was an update. So Gavin Wood announced today that they're updating this statement, which is like another prerequisite before Parachains does go live. So we can probably expect, with that update now, probably in the next 3 to 4 days, we'll see some sort of announcement from Kusama or from PolkaDot themselves or from Gavin about unstaking. So basically what has to happen is once they have the final determination of the parachain and it's good to go, it's confident, what they're going to do is they're going to announce that everyone should unstake their Kusama and PolkaDot. And that basically that's a 7-day wait period. So as soon as he announces that, that's when we know the first parachain is going to go live 7 days from then. And so there's some speculation that since Gavin Wood just tweeted about the statement it was like 10, 11 hours ago. No, not even, maybe a few hours ago, actually. The fact that he just tweeted about that, people are saying that that's imminent, that Parachains is going to start launching, or at least, they're going to announce the unstaking any day. And that's why I think we're seeing a pump here. We're seeing a little pump here on PolkaDot. Obviously, Bitcoin's recovered some too, so that helps. But I think the bullishness on DOT right now is particularly favorable. On the TA, if we look here, so we had a low, right? Our ultimate low, the bottom that we established here on the 23rd, and then we had a higher low here. So I think we're establishing some pretty clear technical patterns here that look favorable to a buy setup. And I think the whales have been accumulating. Well, I know they have. I don't think they've been accumulating here throughout this range, especially this golden Fibonacci range. And then, even down here too. So now you can see we just peaked up above the 618, and now we're actually above it now. We're pretty well inside the 618 zone. And now what's happening is there's this trend line from the peak, this green line here that I've drawn. I had this trend line drawn all the way back from May 15th. That's basically connecting all the attempts that we tried to break it, right? We tried here on the 18th, failed, tried here again on the 19th, failed. And that's when the ultimate drop started. Tried again here on the 27th. And now we're actually peaking through. If you look, we actually did make an attempt through. So what I expect here is either we push through, retest the line here, the trend line, or we just come back down, trend a little bit, and then try again. Down below 19 today. It's possible. It's possible, but it's looking unlikely that we're going to head back below those levels again anytime soon, especially with the bullish cross on the hourlies. If you look at the MACD, let me pull the MACD too. This is the EMA ribbon. But if you look right now at the EMA ribbon, we've already pierced through on the hourly, so that's a very bullish sign. And you're starting to get the 20 to cross, already crossed the 55. Now the 20 is about to cross, looks like the 34. And once you get that going, it's going to be hard for it to just, come back down all of a sudden. I mean, there has to be some really bearish news. And if you look at the news lately with Bitcoin, right, China just came out last night, really late in the night on American time. They stated that they're willing to work with Facebook DM. And then they also said that they could build on top of Ethereum. So, and then India today, all of a sudden, right, they just announced that they're not banning cryptocurrencies. That was from the Reserve Bank. So, yeah, I think it's going to be hard to see this thing go back below 19, especially with that kind of news out, from India and China. The first thing with China is massive, and no one's talking about it right now. But the reason why that's so big is Facebook has 3 billion monthly active users, not just users. They have 3 billion monthly active users, which means that each user is coming in at least once a month, those 3 billion, and getting on Facebook. So the fact that China is announcing their willingness and intention to work with Facebook DM with the digital yuan, this is a massive shift in perception because, right, clearly everyone thought before that China was not going to work with any outside cryptocurrencies, wasn't going to work with any outside entities, right? This is definitely not the case. Remember, the amount of trade volume between the US and China, it's in the trillions of dollars a year. It's in both interests of the US and China not, to battle each other on CBDCs, right? So what I think we're going to get happening is you've got this green light from China to work with Facebook DM. The Fed's going to green light it, right? And it's going to be some sort of stable coin. And then you've got an instant on-ramp into crypto for 3 billion people, right? The other thing, the fact that they stated that they're willing to work with Ethereum, right? That's another big, turn of events. We thought that the digital yuan, 2 weeks ago, a week ago, prior to last night, everyone thought that the digital yuan was not going to work with traditional cryptocurrencies. This is a huge change of perception. Chainx, is that a PolkaDot project? If it's a PolkaDot project, the way I expect those to move is basically, it depends. It's a couple different catalysts. I expect Ocean not to move so much quicker or quickly, right? Because I took a look at Ocean's TA the other day, and it didn't look too good, but I'll go over it again. I expect DOT to move first. This is the way I expect things to play out. Parachains gets rolled out. DOT and Kusama are going to move first. Then it's going to be kind of like the way, think of it this way. It's basically a fractal of how Bitcoin works with the altcoins. So Bitcoin moves first, Ethereum moves next, right? And the traditional cycle, and then the altcoin, the major blue chips like PolkaDot, Chainlink, Uniswap, they move, and then the altcoins move, and then the micro low caps move. I think we're going to have a similar stream of funds flowing into the ecosystem. So you're going to get DOT and Kusama moving first, and then your other, ancillary projects like, Ocean eventually and Chainx. Is it worth it to buy Chainx and Ocean here now? You can have some if it's something you feel strongly about and it's a project you really like. But I'm very confident on DOT and Kusama. Those are my most confident plays right now. Good stuff, Lit Dog. It's not a bad move. Not a bad move at all. You're really, think of it this way. You're getting in on a project that's about to launch, and I know you've heard me say this before, but you're getting in on a project that's about to launch a major technological paradigm shift change. It's not you don't see this often. It's not something you're going to see again for the foreseeable future. This is kind of like Ethereum in 2017 when Ethereum was at $20. No one saw Ethereum coming out as a big player technologically, and then they released some updates when it was around $20, right? That's when Ethereum really started to move. It went from 20 to 50 quickly, and then from 50 to 300 and 450. It went from 50 to 450 pretty much in about a time span of a month and a half. So, and I'm not saying that's what PolkaDot does here. I'm just saying, I'm giving you kind of an analogy, something that PolkaDot could do. We don't know how high it's going to go. I do know that it's going to launch, and it's going to go aggressively to the upside as soon as Parachains does launch, because every ecosystem, including Ethereum, Solana, Matic, everyone wants to be on PolkaDot, and they're going to have to buy into the auction system. And so there's only 100 slots on PolkaDot, and to get in there, you have to basically bid. Bear scenario question. That's one of your questions. Yes, I've started months ago with small cats. Yep, I'm getting left on. Yep. Yeah, you're gonna get the most out of DOT right here, in my opinion. You're buying in on a trend line right here, right? And it's testing it with bullish technicals behind it, with the hash ribbons buy signal that happened on the 17th. And that's something a lot of people are forgetting to include in their analysis is you can't ignore this signal here. And I know it happened before the dip, but the signal is still active. It's not an inactive signal. This does not go inactive. It only goes inactive until you get the next. Here, let me show you. Until you get the next. Get all the way back here. Until you get the next beginning of the capitulation cycle, which this one started on April 24th. And if you look, April 24th was a pretty big low in PolkaDot. You know, it had spiked pretty high, and then it came down and sold off. And these cycle ribbons are pretty accurate. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't predict what happens in BTC, right? Because let's say this, if BTC didn't dump here, PolkaDot wouldn't have dumped, right? So you can't blame this buy signal on PolkaDot. It's not PolkaDot's fault. It's Bitcoin's fault, because Bitcoin took a dump. Now, Bitcoin didn't do that. PolkaDot would have kept going higher and higher. But the signal, even though we did take a dump, it is still active. It just will take time to recover. And then these signals, the last time PolkaDot printed the signal, it rose 800%. So you're going to see something in the multi-triple digit gains in PolkaDot. And especially when we break out of this trend line, you're going to get kind of a high upside move, you know, retest down, and then you're just boom, see you later, alligator. Peter, what is your opinion, assuming Bitcoin does have lower potential around 2026 during the week? Could DOT's news be enough to keep it? Yes. So I think, and I've thought of this too, if Bitcoin does, let's just say hypothetically speaking, it does go off into the 20K range, 20 to 30K, and DOT comes out with parachains, say the day before, the day of, you know, that Bitcoin's falling, that will be enough to keep DOT afloat and rising, just like Matic did. So if you recall, Matic, you know, when Bitcoin sold off, Matic sold off too, but then all of a sudden Matic rose 75, 80%, you know, the next day or two. So I expect something like that. I don't expect there to, if the news happens before Bitcoin falls, then I expect DOT to keep most of its gains. And then say if, you know, the news comes as Bitcoin's falling, it's just going to launch, you know, quickly. You know, it's going to rebound, V-shaped recovery, just like Matic did. Yeah, it's been rough, Lit Dog. That's true. But the way to look at this one is you're really buying in at a huge discount. Yeah, I can't really stress that enough. And we're poking again through the trend line here. I'm just noticing it. right on the line. And I can draw this line a number of ways. I can actually move it a little further down. It doesn't, you know, I can align it with the body of this candle here. So if we do that, it actually shows that we're breaking through. So we're actually breaking through the trend line, in my opinion, right now. What I would like to see is this hourly candle close, which closes in 1 minute. Thank God. And then what's going to happen is we're going to have a new hourly candle open here. And we could either shoot higher or retest, but likely we retest the line. And that's a good time to buy if it bounces, right? If you want to be ultra safe, I mean, you don't have to wait for these retests because you have these bullish crossovers in the EMAs already aligning. The red is the 20 EMA, the blue is the 55, and then the green is the 34. So the 20 is already past the 55 and the 34. So this is starting to look more bullish as time goes. Yep, that's right, Peter. Yeah, let's take a look at the 4-hour candle. Yeah, that is bullish. Yeah, that is super bullish. That's actually really, really bullish. So you have a 1 and a 4-hour, probably a 2-hour candle close too. If you're doing even numbers. Yeah, 2 hours going to close above. So that's actually really bullish. You're getting some confluence and confirmation here. And you can see that these EMA ribbons, the blue, green, and red here, see how they're kind of bottoming, and then you're going to get this launching higher phase. Let me pull up the MACD. So if we pulled the MACD, oh wow, we've got a bullish crossover already. So the last time this happened was on the 23rd. It was a while ago. So we have a new MACD crossover right now. This is actually really bullish. And here's the new candle. It just opened. New candle just opened, fellas. So this here is significant. Now that we have a crossover in the 4-hour on the MACD, we came up and touched it slightly here, but we never crossed. And then we crossed here on the 31st today. Last time we did this was on the 23rd. So, and that was at the bottom, I believe. Yeah. So just imagine we moved from this crossover here on the MACD. We moved all the way. We won't count the wick. Let's just count the body here to the top of the wicks before it crossed over back down again. What is that? I can't see it. Let up. You know, we moved 61%. So, you know, similar move could happen here too, easily before the news drops. I'm just talking about purely technicals. Technicals can carry this up 61%, which would take it all the way perfectly to this line that I have drawn, which is a Fibonacci line, the $35 line. It's one of my prior Fibonacci lines that I had drawn. So we could be taken up all the way to the mid-30s alone just on these crossovers. Just bullish. So just as I said, it looks like, you know, just selling off a little bit, not bad. But it looks like we're going to retest the line. Boom, bounce off and come back. And here's the other good thing. We're inside the golden pocket now, as you can see. You guys have seen this drawn in my previous charts. See, we're inside the 618 and the 0.5. So we're inside the golden pocket now, which is where you want to be. We tested the golden pocket zone at the top perfectly and bounced down, right? That's when Bitcoin sold off. And then came down into the 718 zone, then came back. And now we're re-entering our golden pocket zone. So one of two things can happen. The MACDs and the technicals take over, take us to 35. If there's no conviction here, then we'll just test the top of the line, you know, trend down maybe and come back. The news drops, then we're just shooting straight higher. That's the third option. which that news is going to drop relatively soon. Let me show you guys. Some notifications here. So here's what I was talking about. So this is Gavin Wood. He just announced this. This is the last step before the auctions, and this is from an official PolkaDot related entity, PolkaDot Parachain News. So this is way more bullish than anyone's giving it credit for it now. I mean, we're close. We're really, really close to the auctions. So it's interesting that we're aligning technicals and fundamentals together. And is the music too loud for you guys, or is it bothering you? Just let me know. I can lower it. Take a look at Kusama, see what it's doing. Actually, never looked at it. It's going to look similar to PolkaDot. It's interesting. There's some spikes here. Yeah, there's some big money coming into both Kusama and PolkaDot. I mean, got these big whale moves, these spikes coming in. So we got 47% Kusama in the top. Yeah. We're still down pretty significantly. Dot, I think Dot's the better buy. 56%. So you have a better discount buy in Dot. Let's take a look at Ocean. What was the other one you wanted to look at, actually? ChainX. Would they announce on a holiday? It's possible because it's not a holiday in Britain. And that's where Gavin Wood's from and the PolkaDot team. They're British based, so that's actually a potential that they could announce later today or tomorrow morning is my guess. Probably they'll give it a couple of days, actually, because they want to make sure the statement works smoothly before they go to the live auctions. They do seem to be a little bit more on the conservative side, when they're launching updates. So, which is good. You don't want them to roll out something and then there's a huge bug in it, and they have to roll it back. So PCX, yeah, let's take a look here. Let's get the daily out. Do a retrace. I'm assuming this is when the project started. So we'll do a trend-based fib extension here. So you're looking, $10.23 is its next target. And then you're gonna hit the 1618, 1343. see what Chainx does. $56 million market cap, yeah. KuCoin, yeah, it's got some markets. Privacy preserving computation, yeah, okay. Asset interoperability with other blockchains, measures users' mining power based on the market value. Makes sense. Chain X, like cross chain. So Bitcoin more valuable chain X to release layer 2. Okay, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah. I do like anything that expands Bitcoin in a efficient manner. So any layer 2 solutions on PolkaDot that focus on Bitcoin, that's pretty cool because it just makes the ecosystems more integrated. Yeah, it's actually really smart that they did that. Yeah, I do like the vision here at ChainX. Yeah, any way you can, interoperate with existing ecosystems such as this just brings more value to your chain and network. So that's awesome that this team's doing this. Yeah, there could be some high upside here because this could eventually be a DeFi platform. Yeah, Bitcoin DeFi. Bitcoin cross DeFi, that's a new one. Yeah, I like this. It's a cool project. I'll have to read more into it. But yeah, your initial target's going to be 10 and then 13. And then once you're back here, really, because see how this is, after it sold off, this was the attempted, impulse wave higher. Then it failed. Tried again, and then Bitcoin sold off, and then everything failed, right? So once you retake this level here, really right here, to be honest, the body, but let's just say 13 to be safe, you're gonna see a so there's the upside on this one too. I mean, as soon as you take out 13, it's looking favorable. Anything in the PolkaDot ecosystem is it's gonna look the same. Even BitBoy came out with U2 on it, yes. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I could see that here. It's a huge green candle. Yeah, fine. The longer we stay outside the trend, the better. Outside the trend line. Yeah, just the more candle closes we get here, the better. And I expect, we'll close here probably, this hourly candle, on the trend line. Yeah, so we're going to come back, test it, new candle opens, and then you go higher from there. Let's take a look at the crypto panic news. So this is what I was talking about earlier. The Reserve Bank of India, they came back and clarified that they're not banning, crypto. So it is what it is. You get FUD one week and then they say one thing and then the next week they completely reverse. India central bank orders uninhibited crypto. It's almost hysterical how this news cycle works. So if the central banks are bullish, right, then these local banks they don't mean anything. It's kind of the same thing in the US. Oh, here we go. We have a new dot article. Let's check this one out. Universal staking, yeah. I wish they were gonna say something about Parachains here. Yeah, they do. So you can see the cycle's already turning bullish again on the new cycle. I mean, you have all these articles coming out all of a sudden, and they don't typically release a lot of things on PolkaDot every day. So the fact we're starting to see stuff like this all of a sudden 1 hour ago on PolkaDot tells me, you know, the powers that be, whoever they are, they're changing the cycle back to bullish for June. Parachain's going live soon. PolkaDot is currently testing and optimizing its upcoming parachains on Kusama, the Canary test network. Following the completion of an audit, parachains will launch sometime. So they say the next few months, but they're being conservative. They don't know, these people. It's obviously coming like in the next couple days. PolkaDot has quietly built out its ecosystem full of stablecoin smart contract platform and open parachain slots to be auctioned off. Most of these protocols will focus on building the necessary infrastructure for DeFi and PolkaDot. Now that PolkaDot has constructed a more inclusive staking environment, it's well positioned to tackle the bottlenecks of blockchain maximalism by advancing multi-chain interoperability and scaling. Yeah, so it's good that you're starting to see, journalists start to publish bullishness on PolkaDot itself. You didn't see this for the last 2 weeks. No, this is a really bullish article. You're getting more governments, coming into crypto. Singapore private bank unveils first tokenized bond. Despite all the FUD, stable coins are at $100 billion market cap. Tells you that money's about to pour in. Billionaire Red, yeah. Let's see what Vandapop has to say. I kind of like this guy. He mentions PolkaDot before. Let's see. He has Chainlink. He always talks about Chainlink. He's just doing Chainlink for now. Yep, no worries, Lit Dog. Yeah, I mean, this is PolkaDot's the most bullish project, in my opinion. Right, it's already bumped up to 2230. Jesus, yeah, you got some buyers coming in. I mean, that's an interesting looking candle. Wow. So, yeah, you retested the line and then boom, someone came in, someone big. Yeah, I agree, Peter. Yeah. Link's been killing it. The main thing with them, the reason why they're doing so good right now. Yeah, Lit Dog, you can probably wait. I would let this one finish pumping, but maybe stagger your buys by 10% now, right? And then as it comes down, you ladder your buys. That's the way I would do it. Yeah, Peter, on Link, it has been killing it lately, and a lot of that's due to Ethereum and EIP 1559. So the more news you get coming out on EIP 1559, and you're just going to get all the ERC20 tokens pumping together. And you see that in Uniswap too. Uniswap's done a similar size move, compared to Link. So I think we're going to see DOT outperform both of those in the next, obviously over the next few months, in my opinion, next month, 2 months. Because I also think there's a risk with Ethereum too that not a lot of people are thinking about. Ethereum, it's great. I like the protocol, but there's a risk that EIP 1559 is not as good as what we think, or it gets delayed a little longer, or it just takes longer to integrate these layer 2 solutions like Matic, which is integrated for the most part, but it doesn't really do much yet, right? The only thing you can really do with Matic and Ethereum is you just use Matic to transact Ethereum transfers, so that's cheaper and faster, and that's it so far. You can't really do much other than that. Whereas with PolkaDot, you're going to be able to do not only 100 times, 1,000 times faster than what Matic can do. There's no layer 2 integration, so there's not any complexity involved in terms of integrating 2 different layers, whereas everything is built on top of the relay chain. So it's all like it's all simultaneously built together. Yeah, this one's really starting to pump hard. Let's see what Kusama's doing. The other ones aren't really pumping, so let's see what Kusama's doing. Kusama's pumping too. So see how Kusama and Dot move together. For the hour at least. It's not pumping as hard as PolkaDot in my opinion, but it is pumping. I mean, really the main thing is this trend line break here, right? So the technicals alone on PolkaDot, it's going to carry it further. Remember, last step here before the auctions, a lot of people are going to get caught off guard on this one. Here's the reason why so many are going to get caught off guard on PolkaDot. Everyone thought that it was coming out in March, the auctions, and then it got delayed, right, till now. So that's why there's a lot of skeptical people and investors. They're waiting a little bit too late, in my opinion, for the news to drop. So what's going to happen is the news is going to drop and it's going to pop, that moment, $10 easily. And then from the days afterward, it'll just keep moving, another 10, 20, 30, $40. So I think that's what a lot of investors are doing. They're waiting, even though Gavin Wood, this is him right here, he's the one making the statement, and then it's an official PolkaDot Parachain, network here. This is not some made up entity. It's only got 11.9K followers, which is good because a lot more people are going to be caught off guard, and then they're going to buy to help the price continue to move forward. But this right here is extremely bullish. Jesus. I mean, you're not going to see. I mean, the only time you really saw it pierce through the trend line again was here on the 18th before the crash. But I imagine Bitcoin started selling off, and then it pounded it back down. Here, it's a different setup. Your MACDs are positive. Here, your MACDs were already rolling over. See here on the 18th, they were rolling over and they went negative. Here, our MACDs are positive, and you're piercing the trend line. It's a much more bullish setup. Yeah, Peter, my experience with those is that they can continue to be oversold for a while. But I agree, you can wait, but I would at least buy at least a small allocation here. And then you just continue to average down as the price chops here, right? If we do come back and retest this line, then you can buy more here, right? And if you're confident, you can buy 30-40% of your allocation. Then as it comes back up, you can continue to buy more, and then your average price will be right here, 21.92 or something. But I mean, the way this is pumping is just crazy. It's really moving. And now you see Kusama's pumping again. Yep. Let's pull up another ocean. It's a PolkaDot protocol. Ocean's pumping. It's good. So you can see they're all moving together, which is an indication when the news drops, they're all going to move together too. But I think you're going to get a bigger move with PolkaDot. I mean, this move, and you can see Dot's candle is much larger than the others, right? See, this hourly candle's not as large. Not as large. So Dot's going to outperform the others. This is already an advanced indication of how Dot will outperform. Doesn't mean you don't own these or sell them, right? But Dot's the more bullish one. Yeah, and Peter, also on the RSI, it's tricky because when you get a MACD crossover, like we just are now experiencing, and a trend line break, it's hard to know. This thing could just keep going. I mean, this is pretty significant. That's why I don't, if you buy 0%, it just keeps moving on him. At least I want him to have something. But now that he has something, he can move, and we can watch the technicals, and he can actually, have at least a little bit of appreciation here with the price. Let's take a look at the 1 minute candles. Let's do 5. Yeah, it was a huge bump on the 15. Could be the entry. I mean, my experience is that you come back and test the trend line. Let's just see what happens here. And this might have been the test here. And then your bounce up higher. Also in the 1 hour, we came close to testing it. I mean, depends how you draw the line, but you could consider that a test of the trend. I want to see this 1 hour close here. If this 1 hour closes here, and then you get another 1 hour candle, you know, opening and closing, and another, right? That's how you know you're confirmed. No, I think you're good, Lid. Yeah. I think it'll close probably around this price. There's a little bit of a bull flag. Let's see. So this is kind of a bull flag here, in my opinion. So the target, this is a very short-term target, would be 22.98. So what happens in a bull flag is you hit your target, right? And typically you come down in another flag-like pattern like this. So you hit, you might peek through, right? Then you come down like this. You know, you create your lower high and your higher lows. You know, some structure like that. And then boom, another breakout. I don't have a crystal ball, obviously. I'm just kind of guessing what could happen here. The further price gets away from these EMAs, the better, because we want these crosses, and we're about to get another cross, another bullish cross. Once that 34 crosses the 55, you're pretty much you're going to see another launching here in about an hour. I mean, you can just take a look here and see what happened. So the 34, yeah, the 34 didn't cross until here. Didn't cross the 55 until there, right? But look what happened. Boom. Right? Impulse pump. I mean, actually went even higher. You tested the trend line here, but now we're breaking through the trend line. It's a different situation. All right, so boom. This is a 23% move. So say if it happens in an hour here, you're going to get another 23% move potentially from here in this next hour of the candle. Oh, Jesus, it could actually take us a little higher. All right, it could take us all the way there. $27.66. And that was from the 34 crossing above the 55, right? And obviously, look, you did get a sell-off here, a big trend value for opening up here. So that's what you can expect to see. You know, once the cross happens, you get a pump, an impulse, and then a sell-off back down. You know, we'll see how much it retraces. Right, it retraced to the 786. So let's just say the same thing happens here. Right, let's say this is the start after the MACD cross. Or sorry, the EMA cross. You come back down to here would be your potential sell-off. 786. Not saying it gets that far down there. Don't, like, these are just estimations and probabilities and potentials. And then you launch higher, right, from there. So if you miss, in my opinion, you can buy a little more here. But if you miss and it just takes off and it goes to 2766, you can wait for the retest, the Fibonacci retracement. And then from here, you would just launch higher again. So it could look something like this. Right. And what's going on in PolkaDot? Another DeFi platform launching on PolkaDot. Super bullish on DeFi long term. Another DeFi application on Dot. I mean, it's just insane how many are launching. That's great. We're just seeing an explosion of assets coming on the Dot. See how they're doing. Ocean's still launching. Kusama up. That's still doing well. 0.5 pivot from this impulse puts it at the same spot. We'll have the 0.5 to 25. If we do the retrace from here to where I expect it to go, yeah, we would come back to the $25 region. It's really only a matter of time, though. The thing with DOT is you can buy here, and if you have a longer term mindset or medium term, mindset, then you don't really have to worry about trading. If you're just going long on spot, I don't think there's a big difference between buying here and not waiting for it to drop to 21. I mean, you can do that, but will it happen? I don't know. It might just impulse higher, and then you miss it. So if you're buying spot and you don't have any risk in the system, then yeah, there's no reason, in my opinion, not to buy. But yeah, you could come back and retest, and you get it at like 22. Let's see. Let's see where there's some confluence in the daily you match up daily closes the higher time frame, what current price is doing. So February 8th, there was a very significant daily close here. It broke out of a bull flag structure. So this is actually an important higher time frame close. So if we close above this line here, let's make it dark blue. If we close above this line here, it's going to be off to the races. If you notice, look what it did on February 8th. What happened here? It went from 23 to 28. So you're still getting it at a discount, in my opinion. And obviously, that's pretty big. You're getting a discount no matter what. I changed this track. Oh, the price to close at? Yeah, it's $23 even. it looks like. Let me actually get you the exact price though, just to be sure. So, yep, $23 even. Oh yeah, no worries. I'm gonna type it in for people coming into the stream. Yeah, you want to do this in your any analysis you're ever doing with crypto, anything in general on TA. You want to take current price and then take a look at what higher time frames are doing. It's something that most traders forget to do. So the fact we're here on a significant inside the gold, so there's many things happening here. We're inside the golden zone. We're potentially closing in on this higher time frame daily candle, 23. Plus, we're breaking out of a trend line. Plus, the MACDs are turning bullish. And then the daily, once that daily closes above on the MACD, it's see you later, alligator. And look, we're already there. Let's look at the 12-hour. 12 hour is already there. We're already there on the 12-hour. It's bullish. Obviously, 9-hour, we're going to be there too. You got 6 and you got the rest. So once we do the daily close above, the MACD switch, it's going to be majorly bullish here. It's going to just go up. And you're probably a day or two. Yeah, 23 on the daily. Yeah, if we close a daily candle above 23 here, that would be very bullish. Yeah, above it. Not only would we be above the trend line, we're inside the golden pocket zone, but it would be a confirmation of the higher time frame candle from February 8th. 15-minute will cross too. Yeah, that's good. Let me take a look. Yeah, it looks like on my chart I have it crossing on MACD. Yeah, looking very good. Yeah, we're just pumping it in again here, fellas. I mean, it's looking very bullish. I mean, this is strong volume. This is what you want to see. This is what you want to see. Strong volume. Strong volume on this breakout is exactly what we needed. And if it doesn't close above the 23, it's not bearish all of a sudden either, guys, just so you know. It's just that it's a significant line. If you do close above, you're going to impulse higher, tomorrow and the next week. Just grabbing my lunch here. you could actually draw the bull flag line like this. It's gonna have a higher target actually. This could be your bull flag target too, is 24.50. And if that's the case, then you close above the 23 on the daily. I mean, yeah, we're off to the races. I see we're pumping more than Bitcoin. I mean, it's good that Bitcoin's pumping, but you can clearly see DOT's doing a lot more. Yeah, the DOT chart's way more bullish than Bitcoin. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely pumping more than Bitcoin. Which is good to see. Because that's the kind of impulse you want when Bitcoin makes its move higher. You want to be moving faster, and that'll just continue that trend. I think you're seeing a lot more money come in all of a sudden too, to both, crypto in general, Bitcoin, but mostly you're getting a lot more money moving into the projects that are going to move faster in the coming weeks. And that's one of those is PolkaDot. If you needed confirmation on the whale movement, on the whales moving, Raul Paul, he's the macro guru guy. His largest altcoin holding after Bitcoin and Ethereum is PolkaDot. Good stuff, Peter. Yeah, thanks for joining in. I'm going to leave here soon, probably too. Yeah, I might. Yeah, I might stream this evening. If the price is pumping, yeah, I'll definitely stream. Just to give you guys an update, see where the technicals are looking. Or if there's any other major news, yeah, definitely I'll jump on for sure. But this right now, this volume candle is looking really strong. I like it. You had one big one here and one here, and then you're about to get this crossover, the 34 over the 55 on the hourly. When that happens, see you later, alligator. You'll come up here probably in this full flag target, come back down, and then boom. And then the daily MACD will turn bullish too by then. So, I mean, you're getting a rolling, sequential move in all these technicals turning from bearish to bullish. It's a perfect setup. Yeah, this is looking awesome on Bitcoin. So let's just say that this was the bottom. I have to zoom in to make that right, but hold on. Yeah. So the reason why I like the pitchfork analysis shows you, where it's probably going to trend next once it bounces higher, which is the hard line. So let's just say, by the end of June, it could be at 67,000, 70,000, something like that. Now let's do the same thing on DOT. So the reason why I'm doing this is I want to create confluence, right, with multiple technicals, and I want them to agree, right? Then that's how you find. You never want to use one technical signal or pattern or idea. You want to use multiple. That way you have a better probability of being right. We sold up to 13, didn't we? Yeah. Yeah, Dot's looking good too. Obviously, it can peak higher, in these higher bands. This is just a guide, but as you can see, by December, 1291 is not off the table in PolkaDot. Say if December is the ultimate peak. Let me just draw that on the chart so I don't forget it. That could be your ultimate price target, $1,300 PolkaDot. Honestly, I think we could be $200 here pretty quickly, by August. Even $80, by June, right? My projections aren't out of this world, extraordinary. They're even supported by this, right? The pitchfork has confirmation, in my opinion. This is a very strong sign to see. The way to look at it is that the green center, these two channels here, that's your highest probability of where the price will be. And then, the lower probability is that it peaks through these blue zones, which it does often. It does do it often. Price never just stays inside a channel anywhere. It peaks to the upside and it dips to the downside worse than we ever feared, but it peaks to the upside more than we ever thought possible too. So, by June, we could be at 120. Yeah, this could be our ultimate target here in June alone. $124. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's way undervalued, Led. I mean, it's not often you say that you're rolling out something that Ethereum only does 15 transactions per second right now. You include layer 2 scaling, maybe it does a few thousand. No one really knows how fast it's going to be, but we know it's not going to be as fast as PolkaDot. PolkaDot's going to be in the hundreds of thousands, right off the bat. So yeah, it's not often you get to say something like that. It's like moving from Microsoft, DOS from like the early 90s to Microsoft Office 10 all of a sudden. That's the scale level change we're talking about here. Let's see what people are saying on Dot. So sometimes you get different kind of takes. This is big. I didn't see this yet. Yeah, I didn't see this checklist. So they've got the shell, the state mine runtime upgrade, yep, which is what we just saw earlier. Merge and include parity tech, update substrate, PolkaDot dependencies, finally. Yeah, I mean, this is big. Let's see if they announce anything on the Kusama Reddit. There's spare stuff. It's actually fine if it's perfect. It's bullish. what I'm surprised about is there's not a lot of news regarding China and what they just said last night. That was kind of covered up. I mean, that was the biggest news that we've seen in my opinion, all year. Let's see, it was entitled Digital Yuan. Here's the article itself. CBDC can be set up on Ethereum network, says architect of Digital Yuan. We can imagine, this is a direct quote, if the central bank's digital currency runs directly on blockchain networks such as Ethereum and Diem, then the central bank can use their BaaS, which is business as a service, services to directly provide, or banking as a service probably, the central bank's digital currency to users without using intermediaries. So he wants to integrate the smart contract features with the digital yuan. That's why he's mentioning Ethereum, right? My users are going to use PolkaDot once they realize, how much more efficient, how much more advanced it is, right? Because the smart contracts thing is, that it's definitely great to have, but you need to have a fast network first, then you roll out the smart contracts, which is what PolkaDot's doing. It's like having a Ferrari with an empty gas tank, right? If you're Ethereum, it can't go fast because it has no gas in it, right? Whereas PolkaDot, it is the Ferrari with the full gas tank. You just need the ignition key, which is a lot easier. It's going to be a lot easier to upgrade. I know the analogy is not perfect, but point is it's easier to roll out the smart contract features, which is what they're doing, in parallel. And they work a lot faster than Ethereum too. I've noticed that. Let me lower the music. Yeah, I was basically just saying PolkaDot's superior because they're rolling out, the fast transaction capabilities first before the smart contracts. They're doing it at the same time, but you're going to get the underlying features of the fast transactions first. Whereas Ethereum, they focus on smart contracts and they're going to be behind because it's going to take them another year to roll out, Ethereum 2.0. And the layer 2 solutions aren't going to be, they're just band-aids, in my opinion. Like, for instance, Kusama already has smart contracts. Which is what's going to run, it's going to run on top of PolkaDot's network. Hey, what's up, Pablo? How's it going, man? Yeah, let me know if you've got any questions. Go ahead and type them in. yeah, the main issue with Ethereum is that you're creating two different, communication frameworks by having a layer 2 solution. It's more of it's not a full, upgrade, because all it does is it just scales transactions. It doesn't do anything else. They're trying to patch, other things into it, like Google BigQuery and API 3, right? But those things already exist. PolkaDot has all those things already too. There's no difference between them. It's once PolkaDot gets ready for, the auctions and it launches, everyone's going to want to come to PolkaDot's system because it's going to attract every developer, right? What would you rather build on? Something that runs, 10 miles an hour, or something that goes, at warp speed, right? You're going to want to do something that's warp speed. Also, Gavin Wood was cognizant of this. He basically made PolkaDot very user-friendly. You don't have to really do much in order to program. It's supposed to be one of the easiest things to program on. Whereas Ethereum, you have to use their specific framework and coding. Every time you make a new app, you have to actually use their language. Whereas PolkaDot, you can do, it's very versatile. You can basically do a number of programming languages, intermesh it, and boom, you're already on the network. Oh yeah, PolkaDots. Yeah, I think the way to think of it is your smaller cap projects on PolkaDot are going to be, you don't want zero exposure to them, but you don't want an extreme large exposure to them either, because you only have to put a little bit of money on them and then they 100x, on you. But if they don't, right, and they don't do anything, they flounder, then you don't lose much either. But you want to have your majority of your money obviously on PolkaDot, because we know, right, we know the direction of PolkaDot. We don't really know the ins and outs of PolkaDex, although I do think it's going to do well, by the way. I'm just bullish on DeFi in general, and DeFi on PolkaDot is going to be at a new level, right? It's going to be like, Super Nintendo, going from Super Nintendo to, the new PS4 and the new Xbox, the Xbox 10 or whatever is the new one, I think. It's going to be that kind of scale of a jump. So, yeah, no, I think you should definitely look into having some PDEX. It's a good one. I like them. And there was another one too. I think it's Akala. They haven't launched their token yet, but it's another DeFi platform. And there's tons of them coming out on PolkaDot every day. Which is what you want to see. You want to see this explosion of developers, right? That's kind of the indication that we're getting. You're just seeing new developers come to PolkaDot's ecosystem every day and launching new projects, DeFi, lending, hybrid finance. I mean, you're getting a huge increase in activity that you're not seeing on other networks as much, right? Yeah, like you've already gotten Uniswap on Ethereum. They're not going to get another Uniswap on top of Ethereum, right? You've got Uniswap, SushiSwap, so they're already saturated there. And those are the big dogs. Obviously, you have these like more conservative DeFi projects like Compound and Aave, right? Where they offer you lending, but it's very low yield. Whereas Uniswap allows you the opportunity to do swaps on other, these kind of riskier, smaller platforms, but they give you higher yield. But the thing is it's saturated there, and I think the high transaction fees are not going to be figured out by July. It's going to take longer, maybe August. And so this is why PolkaDot has a really big opportunity here right now, because if they launch now, it's going to take a lot of attention away from EIP 1559. small retracement here. It's selling off a little bit too, but nothing bad. You could retrace to test the trend line, but we'll see. I do like that the candle before it closed the entire body above the trend line. That was nice. Yeah, let's see how Link's doing. Good old Link. Yeah, it's similar move to PolkaDot in the hourly. Difference here with Link is I think, let me see. So Link's actually a little, is that, hold on. Is that the green? Maybe it's a different color. It's hard to tell. Let's go purple. So the difference here with Link is that 34 EMA did cross above the 55, so that's bullish. Link's really bullish. That's good. I mean, this is where PolkaDot's going to be in an hour, right? Once this 34 crosses, you're going to get a pump. So this is the kind of pump you're going to see. Yeah. Boom, 10% pump. Obviously, it's retracing a little bit right now on Link, but you're going to get that obviously with a huge pump like that, a 10% pump in 2 hours. But that's the kind of move you're going to see happen, right? In PolkaDot, we're going to see a 10% pump here. Once we get this 34 above the 55, and that's about to happen in the next hourly candle. Yeah, I mean, it's crossing right now. So once this closes, that's going to rise above. So say we close here, we're going to get a 10% move. It could take us 25 or something like that. Say we close here. Takes us right to my target. My full flag target. It's funny. It's funny how this math works. And then what could happen here, once we hit the bull flag target, you might come off in another bull flag pattern, right? You get these, sorry, you have a lower high. Let me redraw that. What happens is, you get sell off lower high, higher low, lower high, higher low, right? Something like that. Good breakdown. All right, guys, I'm gonna hop off here. It was a good stream. I'll stream later if there's something going on. So just be on the lookout. I'll put a link in on my, or you can just follow me here on YouTube, but I'll put a link in on TradingView too. All right, guys. Have a good one. See you, Doc. See you, Pablo.